Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I'm going to do a guide on Tomb Lord. I've been asked by a lot of people to do a guide on this guy, so I'm going to get into that in just a second. I think before I do, I just want to say, show a couple of things actually. So managed to crack through 10k subs, which is amazing. So I've been YouTubing now for just coming up for 9 weeks. But really great growth in the channel, really good kind of interaction on my videos. Some of my different playlists seem to be becoming very popular, so things like the clan boss tutorials has been really popular. Some of my kind of takeovers has been one of my sort of popular areas. So yeah, I just want to say thanks to everyone who has already subscribed and is watching the videos and kind of regularly commenting and getting some interest. There's still probably at least 60% of people that watch my videos regularly and are not subscribers. Feel free to subscribe. It helps my channel, helps this game continue to grow. So yeah, if you're watching my videos regularly, please hit the subscribe and likes. Also, we've got a growing Discord channel. So we've got in my Hell Hades Discord over 2,000 people regularly chatting. We've got a number of different areas which get covered by a team of people that are pretty well experienced in this game. So stuff like clan boss questions are answered all the time. There's information around clan boss that is generally answered on a lot of my videos. We've got support on how to build your teams for different areas of the game like Dragon and Ice Golem, all that type of stuff. And then there's just some sort of general banter that's always going on. So feel free to come and join us. My description, so the link to that is in my description. And then the last kind of shout out really is my patrons. So I've got over 20 regular patrons. Really value the support that they give. It helps me to invest some money back into the game to build up some of these champions quicker, and enable me to do a couple more sort of pulls of shards that I normally wouldn't be able to do. So yeah, just really appreciate all of the support so far. Anyway, let's get into this video. Tomb Lord. So a lot of people have asked me about Tomb Lord. They've seen that I've used him in a number of different areas of the game, and I'm just kind of being asked questions about, is it worth people building him up? Is he a Vault Lord? And for me, he's a pretty bloody decent champion, and I don't really know where his kind of really bad name comes from, but let's run through him. I'll show you where I use him, and yeah, obviously leave me a comment below if you agree, disagree, or if you've got kind of any other ideas of how to build him. So let's get into some skills first. Just quickly go over his skills. So one thing immediately, he's got a free hit A1, which makes him pretty viable for clan boss. It makes him pretty viable for fire knights. And each of those hits, no, is it each hit? No, sorry, not each hit. So this move in general has got a chance to place a 30% decreased speed if you get a critical hit. So you do need to build him with a crit if you want this to be an option to land. It is the bigger version of decreased speed, but it will land if you've got the right accuracy and it's a crit. His second skill is attacks one enemy, 70% chance, but when booked goes up to 100% chance of placing 2 poisons for 1 turn. If it's a critical hit, again, it goes up to the same chances to land 4 poisons for 1 turn on all enemies. This is actually a massive ability. So you need to get a crit to make this 4 poisons. It's 100% chance when booked, but this is huge. So you can get 4 poisons out. They're all 1 turn poisons, but obviously you can extend that through masteries. The good thing about 1 turn abilities though is actually you can trigger some of the masteries like this really quickly. So this has got a 30% chance of increasing turn meter when a debuff is removed or expires. So anyone that lands a load of 1 turn abilities, you can actually get this triggering very quickly and you get your turns around much faster. So just something to be aware of. Just going to his last skill, so Blight. Again, this is a really cool skill. So when booked, it goes up to 100% chance of laying the big version of decreased attack and the big version of decreased defense on all enemies for 2 turns. Gets an extra turn if the enemy's turn meter is reset by this skill. So it's also got a chance here, if someone's got less than 50% HP, to reset the turn meter of any enemies. So you can get an extra turn if you do this. This is a great ability as well. So in Fire Knights, you've got a chance to reset turn meter. You're laying the big version of decreased defense and decreased attack across a whole wave. It's 100% chance to land if it's booked. It's on a 5-turn cooldown, which is a bit long. If it was 4, maybe 3 or 4 turn cooldown, it would be insanely good. But it's still good. It's still strong. So everything about his kit is strong. There's not a weak steal here. His aura, I think it's just faction crips. Hello. Oh no, sorry, defense in. So allied defense in arena by 42%. That's actually a massive number. 42% is really, really high. The only challenge with him is whether you can build him in a way that he's useful to your arena team. Is he the best person in an arena team? I'd say actually not. So it's a shame this aura is not more kind of dungeon focused, which I think is where his kit is best. That being said, you know, this skill in the arena is very strong. Poisoning, not that strong in the arena, I would say. Decreased speed on a single person is quite strong. So yeah, for me his kit is not arena focused, but it's not terrible for the arena. So let's go into his masteries. So I've got him built up basically for dungeon content. So I kind of go down this tree into Giant Slayer. So this is kind of like a clan boss build, but with a kind of tweak. This is quite nice for dungeons. This is nice for high level dungeons anyway, because every hit you do is a chance of chunking out a boss or something like that. So this is my offensive tree. So basically just crit damage into full damage into Giant Slayer. And then I go support tree with him. So I go accuracy, accuracy, accuracy. I go this one, which is really important on him, which increases turn meter when buffs drop off, debuffs drop off. I get some more benefit from the sets that he's wearing. This is great for dungeon content as well. So Evil Eye, his A1 is a single target hit. So he's going to reduce someone's turn meter by 20% every time he hits a new person. And then I've got this one, Master Hexer, which actually extends the duration of debuffs by 1 turn, 30% chance. So all those poisons could get a 2-turn cooldown. All of the debuff, defense, and attack could get an extra turn as well. So that's quite important for him. So this setup could actually double as a clan boss setup. If you were speed tuning, then this skill is not ideal for it, because you can start to overlap the boss and sort of go out of turn sync. That's probably the only ability though that I would swap out. I would swap this ability out, and I'd probably go with this. Wouldn't be able to do it there. Probably end up going with this one, Life Drinker. But overall, his kit is actually pretty good for clan boss as well. So let's have a look at how I got him geared then. So if you remember, his abilities are significantly improved when he gets a critical hit. So I've made sure he's got 100% crit rate. His crit damage is relatively low. I could make him do more damage, but that's not really what I've got him there for. I've basically gone for 100% crit, high accuracy so he lands his debuffs, good speed, and then reasonable level of defense and HP. So how have I built the defense and HP? I've got attack here actually. Probably if I was looking for maybe something which is a bit more of a hybrid build that would get me through clan boss and other things as well, I'd probably move this into a defense ring. And potentially a defense amulet as well. And then obviously accuracy is what you need for his main banner. So yeah, these two could switch to defense. It would make him probably a bit more solid in more of the content in the game. We've then got him in crit rate gloves so that he hits that cap of crits. We've got him in attack percentage chest. Again, I could definitely switch this out and go defense percentage and make him have more sustain. We've got him in speed boots. I've got a speed set, an accuracy set, and then a crawl set. But you see here, so his gear actually is not by any chance sort of min-max great gear. I've just picked up some of my okay gear. You might think, looking at some of this stuff, this is a nice piece. You might think, looking at it, actually I've got insane gear here. It's not. This is for an end game account. This is kind of, you know, faction war level gear. And I think if I was to seriously build him for more of my teams, I would start switching out, as I say, these type of pieces. Instead of attack percentage there, I would find myself something like this, either an HP chest or some sort of defense chest, if I had one sitting around, which I don't. But that's how you would make him kind of more viable for other places in the game. And equally, I would definitely change these 2 bits of jewelry into defense-based pieces to give me sort of more sustain. So that extra 200 defense there, by switching this, would be a massive benefit over where he is right now for general kind of content in the game. And then if I had so something like this. So again, this benefit here is worth more to me than this crit damage. So there's definitely some things I could do to make him better for more places in the game. I might just do it. I think I'm just going to do it so you can see. Do I need to, should I bother? No, I'll leave it. Okay, so let's just rate him quickly and then we can get to show you some of the different areas of the game. So for me, arena defense is not his strength. I think it's probably about 3. I think you need to be in control of him, but his offense is actually pretty solid. So decreased defense, decreased attack is a great ability. Decreased speed on an A1 is good. Massive defense boost to allies is good for an aura. So I'd say he's at least a 4. Clan boss, I think this is actually a pretty unfair rating. I'd say unless you are running kind of top end legendaries like my team is, he actually gets into most people's clan boss teams. You know, you've got a 4 poison prop, you've got decreased defense, decreased attack. All right, they're on quite long cooldowns, but they're solid abilities. So I think he's definitely at least a 4. Fire Knights, I think he's actually top tier. I think he's a 5. Spiders, I think having the decreased defense is useful. Maxing poisons everywhere is useful as well. But he probably lacks decreased speed as well. I think he's probably a 4. I think he's a 4. He's pretty decent. Campaign's not really his thing. Force Keep, well, he brings the decreased defense, so that's what you need. And it's on an AoE, which is really helpful. Minnows, he owns. Dragons, he's very good for. Mass poison spike. Decreased defense, decreased attack. It's everything you want for dragon. Ice golems, I run him in my team. I think he's top tier. Spirit Keep, maybe not so much, but he could easily kind of help you get through the waves. Void Keep, he's very strong. And Magic Keep, probably similar to Spirit really. He's okay, he's decent. So all in all, decent ratings. And lots of people are probably sitting on him in their vault because they've seen a tier list that said he's not that good. I actually think he's pretty bloody good. So let's get into showing you what he can do. So I think maybe we start just with a keep. Obviously the keeps now stage 15 stuff is pretty simple for most teams, or for most people that are relatively far into the game. So let's just put in there our apothecary lead. Throw him in. So he's now doing the job that my War Maiden would do in terms of decreasing defense. So let's take her out. I might just throw Kaimar in there for a reset abilities, which will just enable us to do stuff quite quick. If I can find him. Where are you, Kaimar? Where are you? There we go. So we've got Apothecary for speed and some heals. If you see, we go decrease defense and attack across the board. Enables Cal to get some hits off. Poison Burst just kind of sprays on everybody. We get through that quite simply. Kaimar did the reset, so we got that ability straight back again. Where Kaimar comes in like amazingly good in these any sort of dungeon type content. What we do is we go straight on the boss here. I've targeted the boss because I know I've got enough AoE damage throughout this team to not have to worry about these ads. And this should be relatively simple. So you see here the ads are kind of slowly going down. He's done his decreased turn meter there on both these other ads, which gave him a second turn. And triple hits there, 8Ks a time, which is pretty good. And we're just kind of cruising our way through. So this isn't the fastest team in the world, but it's not the slowest either. A minute, it's not bad. If you see here, he's kind of holding his own on damage with the other guys. But I've not built him for like total damage, so I'm pretty happy with that. If we show him then in Ice Golems. So Ice Golem, so he's going to be doing the job of the Tyrell in terms of decreasing attack and defense. Probably just want a bit more. I've got heal support, decrease attack and defense. I might actually run. Want somebody to help me get through that second set of waves. Who are going to throw a load of stuff up. Let's get Umbro out there. So decrease attack and defense. It's just such a massive ability. It enables me to do way more damage to these waves. you need somebody in your teams. If you're at level 20 stuff, you need somebody in your team that can do decreased defense for sure. Decreased defense is the most important ability. Otherwise, it takes you so long to get through any of these kind of trash mobs. And then once decreased defense is on, everybody's hitting way harder. So, you know, the defense level of these mobs in endgame is huge. It's really high. So having someone like a Tomb Lord that can do that is great. So he's gone in there with a double ability. It's a shame he didn't save it actually for the start of this mob, but there you go. Poisons all the way around. See this block buff just come up from Umbral. It means that when they try and cast their ability, which gets the reflect damage out, they can't do it. So Umbral is actually great for this kind of wave clear. It should mean that I get through it without casualties, whereas this is always a tough area. You see there, Tomb Lord's just done his ability to reduce everybody's turn meter, gets an extra turn for it. And we're actually just kind of cruising our way through the wave because we're controlling these mobs so well. So Umbral does a good job of that. Tomb Lord helps a lot with that as well. The rest of the guys here, I mean, Whisper's doing some damage, but the rest of the guys are kind of just here as a supporting cast. So nice thing about Tomb Lord is he does do his AoE abilities here. So he's put his AoE, decreased defense and attack out. Decreased attack on this boss is really helpful. It means that we're going to not take as big a hits. So see how weak the hit was there. He also does this one which sprays the poisons. Poison does not cause his kind of ability trigger, which is on his passive, where he basically slam dunks everybody when these ads are up. So see that reduces turn meter there, which means we're not in trouble from this ad. All these poisons are about to tick down for a good old chunk of damage. And we're in pretty good shape. Whisper's going ham, which is always good fun to see. But the fact that he does the A1 triple hit means that we're also getting a lot of Giant Slayer hits off. Very little damage because of the decreased attack that's on him, and it's on for 3 turns, which is a massive amount of time. And we're still kind of pretty solid. He's gone down there. Reliquary's in there for that exact reason, to pick him back up. Hopefully we keep ourselves in good shape. We could do with taking down one of these ads. See that, he just reduced everybody's turn meter. We potentially were in trouble there, but he reduced everybody's turn meter. Got another turn, gets the poisons out. Gives us enough time to get all of this health regen, and we're back onto boss slaying. So, you know, it's clutch. The ability is clutch when it comes off in the right way. And Ice Golem is a tough battle. So, you know, as I say, at the moment I've got him built up in chests and stuff that probably you wouldn't necessarily put him in if you were playing this as one of your main champs. I probably should just change him over and put him in HP stuff actually, because at the moment I've got him too vulnerable and he shouldn't be that vulnerable. We should just go on the boss now actually. I think it's basically dead. 3.5 minutes, which is not terrible, it's not bad. Yeah, if I roll some speed on these, that could be quite nice. So he's ended up doing 2 million damage, which is way over anyone else here. So if you're wondering, you know, is Whisper the main damage dealer here? He's done almost double Whispers, so kind of show something there. Okay, so that is Ice Golem. Let's show you dragons. So dragons he's actually really useful for. And if you think about the team that I normally show you a team that has a setup a bit like this. So we've got speed, we've got poisons, we've got healing and cleansing. We've then got, normally I have War Maiden in there for AoE decreased defense. And I normally have someone like a Bellower in there who has got stun gear on that just kind of stuns up the mobs. So what he can do is he can actually replace your Kale. So we're going to put the Bellower in. Just make sure that's the right Bellower with some gear on him. Yeah. And then in comes our good buddy Tomb Lord. So he now becomes your poisoner for the main boss. He also does an extra decreased defense and attack. He's the wrong affinity here for this fight, which is kind of where he lets himself down. I think I am actually just going to quickly change his chest over so that he doesn't drop quite so easily in these fights. I need a crit rate chest on him for I need a crit rate gloves on him, sorry, because that really helps. But just want to reduce his speed a little bit, give him a bit more accuracy, way more HP, a little bit more defense, and I'm also just going to change that ring over and push him into a more defensive ring. I'm going to change this as well. Where was it? There it is. So just chunk my defense up an extra few hundred, chunk my HP up quite a lot. I've still got solid stats everywhere else. And this will now just make him way more kind of solid for the fights to come. So again, run it on auto. We've still got the decreased defense, decreased attack going out. So it's going to help us for when the waves do start attacking back. We've still got control coming in from my Bellower and my War Maiden. So we should get the odd stuns off here and there. We've still got our cleanse, which kind of keeps things running. So he's done a complete replacement of Kale. So, you know, if you're thinking when you see my runs, how do I kind of use similar teams but perhaps do some upgrades? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to think about the composition. Who are you upgrading for? You know, who are you taking out in this set that makes sense to take out? So I either could have taken out War Maiden or Kale then. I actually could have taken out War Maiden and probably still got the same sort of results that I'm going to get here, but which should be a slightly quicker run than what we would normally get. But there won't be a huge amount in it because KO is decent here, but that kind of 4 hit of poison guaranteed there is really strong when we get to Dragon. What he can't do is decrease the turn meter of Dragon or decrease the speed of Dragon, which is why his abilities, although they're really strong here for the waves, other than his poison, his abilities are not that insane for the actual Dragon fight. But you see here, we're not taking any hits. We've got loads of stuns going off from 2 people in stun sets. He's doing his decreased turn meter on these waves, which means that the waves aren't even getting a turn. He's throwing poisons up everywhere so that when their turn ticks over, they take a massive chunk of damage. And I bet he has done an insane amount of damage in that part of the fight. We then get to the main fight. Gets decreased attack and defense up. And yeah, and then we're kind of reliant on him laying his poisons down to get through some of these sort of purple bars. So hopefully he gets it through in time. Here it comes. 4 poisons chunk in. Chunks way past the purple damage. And we're kind of pretty comfortable there. So that's what it is. It's kind of then a case of rinse and repeat. Wait for those poison ticks to come around again. Which is why it would be useful to have KO in this lineup as well. Perhaps instead of War Maiden, it would be quicker. Because then we'd have 2 lots of poisons coming in for this part of the fight. But there you go, got 3 poisons off that time. So it's going to be 2 left for when we actually get to the... it's probably not going to quite get through this. It's not going to get through his purple, or maybe it will. Might just about get through his purple HP, yeah, that's good. Cleanses straight away, all of that stuff off. Relic Pretender just kind of deals with it. And we're now kind of coming into the back end of the fight. The decreased attack here as well is really big. So, you know, these hits coming in, they're hitting us for just like 5k or something. Normally that would put some of these guys in risk territory, but they're not. And bearing in mind his negative affinity, you know, he's still chunking out plenty of damage in this fight. So we now see all that poison damage, just kind of chunk down all of this. We're left with the last few hits. And that is the Dragon dead, 3 minutes. So look at the damage here, 2.1 million from Tomb Lord. Nobody else did kind of more than 500,000. So shows how much of a carry he was in that fight for us. And that is Dragon. So let's move on. Fire Knights is in my main setup. So what I do with them on Fire Knights, this is kind of like the rare one I did for the video. But what I normally run on Fire Knights is something that looks a bit like this. Fushan lead for speed and AoE hits. I use my Tomb Lord for the ability to decrease turn meter on the boss. He's a good affinity here, so he does more damage. He also helps me with the waves. I use my... I usually use either Blind Seer or Arbiter. I pick Arbiter this time for kind of speed up and any kind of pickups that I need to do. Maybe I just run it like this, so for this one, so I'll put Relic Pretender in there as a kind of pickup person. And I'll throw in a Cold Heart. Maybe I'll just throw in 2 Cold Hearts. Yeah, let's try this. So the setup will come from here. So set decrease attack and defense. Cold Hearts then do their AoEs and do some good damage. We've got poisons going everywhere. And the idea is just control turn meter, control waves, nuke quite quickly. And we tend to do, I think it's probably around 30 seconds a wave normally, if things are going well. So yeah, 30 seconds, almost to the nail, to the minute. Relic Pretenders there doing a good job of just keeping everybody healthy. So if you really want to speed it up, you put more damage in and take the kind of support champion out. It's quite risky though, because there's a good chance that somebody will get one shot in this team. Relic Pretender is also in shield set, so that I do just get that little buffer when I get into these fights as well. Fushan's decent now. He brings the stuns, so potentially get a couple of stuns off on these AoEs, which he's done here, which again just kind of keeps things rolling, stops you being in trouble. Decreased turn meter there from Tomb Lord. I don't even think this wave's even attacked me. So we're now what, 1 minute 10 onto the boss. We're hoping for some good RNG, which we've got so far. Heartseeker goes in, that's nice. I really want the Blight to come up here so that we get the decreased attack and defense. It's not on yet. I really want it before the next Heartseeker, but didn't get it. Poison's ticking up now, which is nice as well. Decreased turn meters from A1s because of my abilities. And you see here we've got the decreased attack and defense on, so as long as I'm quick enough, the boss won't get a turn. So we should get recycled Heartseeker. I didn't land the Heartseeker, which is a shame. If we landed the Heartseeker there, then that's the end of the fight. As in the turn meter reduction part of it. Because now we're going to get the next Heartseeker, which is out of sync. Potentially, maybe we won't. No, we didn't. Okay, that's cool. So 2 minute fight, which is pretty strong. My best is 130, and it's pretty much it's this team, but with Relic Pretender out for one other damage dealer. What we got here? Not bad. Yeah, so you see here, Tomb Lord is not the best damage dealer in this comp, but he does a lot of work on those waves in terms of setup for everybody else to do their damage. So he's really strong in this fight. I can show you spiders. Now, is he going to be... How do I fit him into a spiders team is what I'm wondering. So his affinity is okay, it's green. Yeah, let's try. Let's sort something out. Okay, so what I'm going to try is a apothecary lead for a defense lead with some speed. We've got decreased turn meter abilities, decreased attack and defense abilities here. We've got nukage plus decreased turn meter, a lot of control. Let's see how this runs. So we should have, I think we've got enough turn meter control in this team to keep the main spider at bay. We've got lots of stuns coming off there, that's good. Lots of damage already on the boss. You see that decreased defense went on really early. He's now putting poisons everywhere, which means these mini mobs should be in trouble. We've got decreased speed on the boss already as well. Heartseeker coming out, which kind of, again, decreases turn meter a bit more. Tons of poisons everywhere. And you see the amount of times he gets boost turn meter because of these poisons wearing off. Just look for the little thing above his head that boosts his turn meter. So now if he gets Blight away, he's going to reduce turn meter back to 0. Let's boost turn meter again. You see, and it's just going ham on the boss. Turn meter again, turn meter again. He should get his next turn now, and I think that's going to be the one that reduces turn meter. Oh no, it's more poisons. Here it is, there he goes. See that? Turn meter back to 0, gets another turn as well. Got the next nuke coming in from our Royal Guard. And yeah, I mean, between Tomb Lord and Nephril, we're just kind of doing work. And I mean, the amount of poisons we've got on these spiderlings, it just means it's his turn meter boost all the time. It's just kind of kicking in, which means that he's kind of probably running at about twice the speed he should be. And it means he just gets that ability back sooner to try and reduce the turn meter of the main boss. So it's going to be close as to whether the boss gets a turn or not. He might just get a turn. But poisons could finish him off anyway, actually. Is he going to get a go? Oh, he did. That's a shame. That's a shame because we're so close to killing, but hopefully the Royal Guard will do some nukage in a second, which will just kind of clean this out. Decrease the turn meter again. Loads more poisons kicking in. There goes the nuke. So close to kills. And that should be about it. Oh, come on, boys. Don't let me down at the end. Don't let me down. Come on. Kill the spider. Oh, they're just ticking away. All these poisons just ticking away. It's got to be it now, surely. Here we go. So 2 minutes 20. It's a team I've just thrown together, to be fair, but you kind of see he's done 2 million of the damage. A lot of that is through his poison ticking. He's also just done a huge amount there of turn meter control. So in the right setup, he can be pretty good. So let's show him in... I guess let's show him in a clan boss fight. I've got a key. Have I done any damage yet? Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out my second counter-attacker, throw him in. He actually works in this team so well because I've got a Vizier. Vizier, so if you've got a Vizier, Vizier just continues to extend your debuffs forever, which means that his slow cooldowns on his abilities become amazingly good. So he gets those 4 poisons out early, he gets decreased attack, decreased defense out early. Vizier just extends it all day long, which makes him an insane champion to pair with Vizier. It means that you can kind of rule out the need for another poisoner, another decreased attack and defense champion, and it means you've got tons more spaces in your team to do really whatever you want. So I could easily pull Marta out of this composition for a Skull Crusher, for example, because I don't need all of her debuffs that he's bringing. If I had everybody in lifesteal gear, I could also pull Bad L out of this composition. And Razin at the moment is the only one who's bringing something different, which would be his Weaken. So you know, you could probably run something that looks like this. Let me just think about leader positions. So Whisper could place the Weaken. We've got poison, poison, decrease attack, decrease defense, and we could put in somebody like a. So we've got everything covered that we need there. So then you just put in someone who's kind of more of a support champion, like a Morsian Mage. So I could throw Bad L up front. I could put Morsian Mage in, or I could also put in Blind Seer, give me shields and stuff like that. So you can suddenly change your composition in a number of ways, all because of Vizier. Now, if you don't have Vizier, which a lot of people won't do, then Tomb Lord's value drops because his decrease attack and defense is on a 5-turn cooldown and only lasts for 2 turns. So he can't do it on his own, which means that you would need to, again, sort of change up your composition a bit. So if I took Vizier out of this and I went with my double counter attack like this, he cannot do decreased attack on his own, so I'd need a decreased attacker to come in like this. I still need my Bad L for healing because I don't have anybody set up as a healer or in lifesteal gear. But I could easily, so if I didn't have a Bad L, I could easily just rework all of these into lifesteal gear, and I would have no problem with that either. So there's a number of things that you can do here. The only thing with Tomb Lord on this set is that his decreased speed and decreased turn meter count for nothing. So although he's got good skills, his couple of his kind of bits of his kit are not going to do the work that they're intending to do. But he is still strong. So even running on auto here, decreased attack and defense is up early, which is good. Obviously he gets his counter attacks in, triple hit counter attack, which means he's going to do some good damage on his hits. Chances to proc Giant Slayer is high. And he's also laying lots of poisons at a turn. He'll get turn meter boost. He's actually very good in a speed comp where you don't have somebody like a counter attacker, because he boosts his own turn meter so quickly that he can kind of often lap the boss. But he relies on team members around him to really kind of intensify his kit. And as I say, you know, someone like a Vizier massively improves his kit. So yeah, obviously I've not got it set up especially for him to run in Clan Boss. I just thought I'd show you what he could do. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to let it run to the end and just show you what the results are like, and then we'll come back on. So here we go, finished 19.5 million with this team. Considering I've not got Vizier in there doing his work, and I've not got these guys properly tuned up, like for Tomb Lord and Tyrell to come into the team. Actually pretty happy with that. Tomb Lord though, the main thing to look out for here, Tomb Lord did more damage than anyone else on this team. And this team is in good gear. Tomb Lord is in average gear compared to the rest of these guys. So it shows actually how effective he can be with those kind of bursty poisons and that free hit A1 that he's got kind of continuously dropping in. So pretty good actually. He is a decent clan boss champion, and a lot of people would overlook him, but I think he is worth a look. So yeah, that is Tomb Lord in clan boss. I think that's probably everything. Oh, maybe I'll show you an arena just quickly. I'm in quite high-end arena, 280 odd. So the trouble with him for me is the moves that he does are reliant on you going fast. So his decreased attack, decreased defense is a great ability. I don't think he's going to work in the team I've got right now because he is, for one, not fast enough. His accuracy is not high enough for this level of arena. So if I show you him again, his accuracy is 267, which you might think, well, bloody hell, that's really high. For Plat Arena, you need more like 500 accuracy, 400 to 500 to get your abilities off. You need a lot more defensive strengths than what we've got here. So we'll try one fight perhaps and just see if it does anything. But I think he's just going to get eaten up pretty quickly. Let's see if there's someone that's worth fighting to show you guys. Let's just try this top one. He's just going to die there. Maybe do this one. So I'm going to take out Cerise, who's doing the similar sort of job for me, although she does cleanse a load of buffs. At the same time, such a better ability than what he's got. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go Arbiter Lead for speed. Where is she? Arbiter Lead for speed. Tomb Lord's going to come in here for decreased defense and attack. I'm then going to throw in a Nephril for control, and I'm going to throw in a Kymar to reset that ability. Now, if I'm fast enough and I don't just get frozen all day long, which I probably will, then this would work amazingly well. But you watch, I'll just be frozen for the whole fight, and I'll be like, oh, I wish I didn't bother showing you this. So, just first thing I look at here is, if I don't do my speed up, can I still win the speed race? I actually do win it on my Nephril against everybody, and potentially on my Tomb Lord as well against maybe not Raglin. So it's a tricky one because I could probably just go in and do my Bat Swarm with Nephril and get some control myself and not freeze people. I'm going to try it. So I've got a chance to stun here. Obviously we've got block buffs up on this girl, which is a problem. She can't block this turn meter reduction though, so I'm going to try and get turn meter reduction everywhere. See, just not enough accuracy, and that is a problem. So we've now got block buffs up everywhere, so his abilities are a waste of time. All I can do is go in an A1. I can try and clear all of those buffs off with Kymar. Again, his accuracy is just probably not high enough for this level of fight. So I've got it off on a couple, which is not bad. We're going to try the speed up. 3 of my team are frozen, and that's the end of the fight. Well, that's the end of the fight. But that same setup in anywhere kind of mid to low golds is a kind of winning team. But when you get to this sort of level now, you just have to completely push your accuracies or your resistances to enable you to actually get your turns away, or you put people in immunity gear. So can't really show you that, unfortunately, but I think for the rest of the video it's been pretty clear that actually he's a great champion. He works in a lot of areas of the game, and he's strong in a lot of areas of the game, and that's with him in, for me, good gear but not great gear. So there's still a lot of work that could be done on his gear to push him up way higher than he is now. So this is Hell Hades signing out. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you soon.